Hey ho, let's go! Good Monday to everyone. I hope you're well wherever you are. Now that we're full blown in summer mode, I am Sean Pugsley Martin. This is episode 22 of Pugsley's Pit, and as we always do at this time of the week, we begin the show by asking you the question: where else would you rather be than right here, right now? There we go. How's everyone? I'm giddy tonight. If you don't know me, Sean Pugsley Martin. By way of introduction, I'm a freelance sport. We'll fix that as we talk. That's a hell of a start to the show. We can only go up from here. Anyway, Albany Times Union sports enthusiast, big time homer for my teams with no apologies. I'm completely full of it sometimes, as you're going to find out through this intro. Also, co-host of M&M across the board with my good friends Eric and Ashley on a weekly basis. You can follow the show on Twitter at Pugsley's Pit and take in the podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. On today's show, BallNine.com founder Chris Vitali makes his return to the pit, and BallNine contributor Mike Nelson as well. They join the show to gloat about the greatness or perceived greatness of the 2022 New York Yankees. We'll talk about that, and we'll get into the rest of Major League Baseball. And I think it's perfect that these guys are tonight. It's fitting with the Oakland Athletics in the Bronx beginning a three-game series in what's certainly going to be an AL playoff preview. Because
2029. Yeah.
I told you I was full of shit.
The Las Vegas A's versus the New York Yankees.
But the A's are clinging to a 5-3 lead behind Cy Young Pete Blackburn. So there's my 15 seconds of glory. Let reality set in now. Gentlemen, how are you on this Monday?
Living the dream. Living
all
the dream.
good.
And we should say that it is a Monday evening broadcast. The kids are in bed, so we'll do a cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Salud. Yachtly crew,
right.
baby. Titans of soft rock.
So these Yankees, right? You salvaged the weekend. I found it hysterical on Twitter. People that were proclaiming, I love Yankee Twitter. The people proclaiming this to be the greatest team in franchise history on Saturday or on Friday night, or when Judge got the hit, whenever the hell that was, on Sunday, when they were getting no hit again through 4 or 5 innings, saying this team is terrible. They got to make changes. Brian Cashman should be fired. What's going on in Yankee Twitter? I'll let you guys speak for the masses.
Go ahead. You can start, Chris.
Oh, man. Thanks. I really appreciate that one.
I'm going to let the steam come out of my ears first before.
It's kind of, Yankee Twitter it's hilarious. It's one of the, you thought politics was screwed up. It's one of the most bipolar situations you're ever going to encounter. Again, you have people saying Clay Holmes is, Mariano Rivera, and this team is better than 98. Neither of those things are true. Let's not say anything like that. It's the end of June. Let's get to the All-Star break healthy, without any more injuries. Let's dial it back a little bit. Because I can tell you one thing, the 1998 Yankees did not have, the worst guy on that team was, Soho?
Yeah.
And he was good.
He was good.
They didn't have a Joey Gallo. They didn't have, one of the good things about Joey Gallo is it's just, you don't have to, nothing's going to happen. So if you have to pee or you got to get up and you got to get a beer or you want to, your food's coming, just wait till he's at bat, man.
Yeah,
and it's basically, but this is a testament to this Yankee team is that, they're basically playing, instead of 27 outs, it's like 23 or 24. So, you got to give him a little credit for that, being that Gallo is just an automatic 3 or 4 outs a night.
Well, and on top of that, until Hicks realized that he wasn't playing golf and he was actually a professional baseball player, like into the beginning of June, Hicks and Gallo gave nothing. Zero. They were nothing. And not even good defense. They weren't even a defensive asset. They were getting timely hitting from Trevino and Higashioka, but not. But the bottom of the order was a total wasteland.
Black hole.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lineup of 6, and then you get a nagging injury to Stanton, a nagging injury here, a nagging injury there, and they still found a way. And it was all pitching. I mean, quite frankly, it was all pitching. And I will tell you that I was about to proclaim the last time I was on with you, Sean. I said that I didn't think this team was built for the postseason. That good pitching would beat good hitting, and I was about to proclaim on Thursday that I was wrong. And then the weekend showed that, like, if the little things, but this team has something that the last 5 years at least hasn't had, is that they're never out of a game.
Yeah,
they're never out of a game. I mean, they're never out of a game.
The thing with the Yankee pitching, we did an exercise on my other podcast a few weeks ago, kind of compared the lineups of the Yankees and Mets. And I don't think I realize, I don't watch a lot of the Yankees, I'll be honest with you, because I can't stand the announcers. They make it just and forget about the radio. Forget it. Right. Forget it with the radio. Something's going through the window if I got to listen to those two.
It was great in Tampa. Ricky Ricardo was doing the games, and he's a consummate professional.
They talked about all the Yankee starters. I said, wow, they're better than I thought they were, and I think they are built now for the postseason. But here's the question I got to ask you guys: Game 7, ALCS World Series. Who do you want to have the ball, Cole or Nestor Cortez right now?
Right now, Cole. Cole has been the only guy. I mean, like, some of these guys, and I swear I think I jinxed him. We made that murderer's throw shirt, and I was wearing it before. And as soon as we made it, everybody started falling apart. I put it on, or I got mine earlier today. I put it on. Montgomery gives up 5 runs, so I might just burn it. But right now, Cole is the only guy who's really putting up zeros. I mean, Cortez, I don't know if the league made adjustments or if he's just going through a little rough patch. But I mean, as it is now, it's Cole, and he's the one making the money to do it. So I'm going Cole, just as of now.
I would go Sevy before I would go Cortez.
Okay.
And I would probably go Tyone before I would go Cortez.
Yeah.
Well, look, with the exception of his last start, he's been everything they thought they had in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but we're in his last 2 starts a little iffy.
Yeah, well, this is why. Like back to Yankee Twitter and the variety show, the Tony Orlando and Dawn Power Hour show that Yankee Twitter is.
Yes.
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old Yankee Stadium. There's conversations that the Yankees are involved in talks for starting to add a starting pitcher. And, today everybody's imploding. Why do we need to add, what do you do? Why would we add a starting pitcher? Our rotation is great. Montgomery goes out and gives up 5.
Yeah.
They're going to limit Severino. They're going to limit Tyone. They're going to limit them both. If Cortez is going through a dead arm period, he's going to get to a point where he's pitched more innings than he ever has in his career.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that great starting rotation pitching depth isn't going to look so great. So maybe they sent Schmidt down to stretch him out so he could become that 6th starter.
Yes.
They get Herman back, who I'm not. He is what he is. He's a 5th starter, swing man.
Yeah. Spot starter.
Can give you innings, can eat up innings, but he's not the answer if you're going into the playoffs. And one of those guys runs out of steam, which is Cole's not going to run out of gas. If they want to pitch 250 innings and needed him to pitch in October, he's still going to be able to pitch. He's the only one of those guys that you can say that about.
Hey, look, give Montgomery a break. I mean, the A's have a longer winning streak than the Yankees. Let's keep it real on this show.
Oh, Christ.
Okay.
Here we go.
They average 0.8 runs a game, I think.
That's solid. A solid 0.8.
That is solid. The toughest team to pick an all-star representative for of any team in Major League Baseball this year.
It's got to be Frankie Montas. Who the hell else is going to be?
I don't think Frankie may not be there. We said before we came on, Frankie might be staying in the Bronx after tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Sean Murphy. Maybe.
Oh my God, Yeah, you know what? I thought Danny Jimenez might sneak in as a closer, and then he just got hurt, and I don't know how long he's out for. Murphy,
I could see it being Murphy. I don't know why. I could just see it being
he's
Cole
got
Murphy.
some decent counting stats. He can't hit at all. He's a great glove, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
But American League catcher outside of Kirk, like
I mean, Trevino is.
well, Trevino's been very timely. I mean, Sal Perez has been hurt, so that makes it a
He
little
got
more.
hurt. Exactly.
So that makes it a little different for the Royals, and they could. I mean, and Witt's had a good year, and he'd be a nice story for the All-Star game. So, like, there's choices in Kansas City.
I don't know who the A's. Blackburn he got rocked last time. He's showing his Cy Young form tonight. He's out of the game now, but
Not Cole
we'll
Irvin.
try to keep doing this. By the way, anybody?
You don't think it's Cole Irvin?
He's out of the game. I don't even know who's pitching. Probably one of those AA quality guys that's in
This
there.
is what we wait for. We wait for the bullpen and then
Exactly.
obliterate them. That's why they have so many come from behind wins, because everybody's bullpen, with the exception of the Yankees and the Blue Jays, suck.
Yeah,
They
I
mean, go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, I was going to say I can't believe Houston's bullpen. I mean that was just
wow.
That was some terrible. Presley stinks.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's no good. Yeah, I love that. I hate the Astros with.
They'll make a move. They always do.
They have to. Yeah, and
we're going to have to make a move for their bullpen.
They have no choice.
No shot.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron Judge, right? Game winner Thursday, walks it off on Sunday. I thought the best thing the Yankees did over the weekend was settle that arbitration before it happened, because you just don't rock the boat. The guy's on his way to the MVP. What do they do? What's going to happen with him? It just wouldn't feel right if he leaves. But I can't discount the fact he's from Northern California. The
Giants are going to look good.
They pissed him off in the offseason by not paying him what he wanted, and he might be sticking it to him now. And, look, I think the attachment of like being a Yankee for life, I think sometimes that means more to the fans than it does the actual players.
Oh, it absolutely does.
There's a few exceptions to that, but money talks. Money talks.
Absolutely.
So I think Judge is different in that Judge gets as much as anybody that's been look until they get paid, because this reminds me of Jeter. Because remember when Jeter almost left?
Well, they almost let him walk.
They almost let him walk, and at the end of the day, they're like, "Wait a minute, what are we doing here?" And for the life of me, well, first there's the years, right? Like, if he wants 10 years and San Francisco wants to give it to him, then enjoy 38-degree days in April, May, August, and September. Have fun. Good luck. I'll go to your Hall of Fame induction, and I'll see you later. But I think he gets what it means to be a Yankee, and he gets that he's next in line if they're to name a captain. And I think that means something to him. I think he's like one of those loyalty guys where he believes that, like, if he shows them loyalty, he should see it back. But who's his agent?
That's tough.
It's not. I mean, it's not Boris. We know that. I don't know. I mean, he's got kind of just, I think, some. He's just like some guy who's worked with him from the beginning.
He's going to get paid, and he's going to get.
He's going to get paid, but you're going to see how much he really wants to be the captain and all of that. If the Giants come out and just blow everybody out of the water with an offer, man,
they've got the money.
You don't think he's going to? Exactly.
They have the money.
I can just see it. I don't know.
Look, you know what? Like, if it was me and I was offering the contract, I would give him 10 years, but I would have a club option at the end of 7.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. And
then there'd be mutual options for years 8, 9, and 10. So if he didn't like it and he thought he could get another big check at the end of year 8 and he wanted to go, then go do your thing. But I would load the AAV and I would make him the highest paid player in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give him 37.5 AAV.
You got a cheap ass owner now. So how do you square the bottom line on your profit and loss statement?
Well, let's find out if he understands what the responsibility is of being the owner of the New York Yankees. Because this is push comes to shove now with Judge. This is when we're really going to know as fans if it's about how much money he can put in his pocket or how much he's like his father. And his father's like, all right, I'm just going to make his life miserable. At the end of the day, I've already got the check for 10 years, $400 million in my desk. I'm just going to mess with him. because I'm George and I want to just prove that I can.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what he did with Jeter. He had no intention of letting Jeter go. None. Zero.
No. It's such a weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to know what the hell's going on in Hell's Head, man. And who's in his ear? I
His
mean,
giant head.
His giant head.
His giant.
I mean, but I mean, I don't know. Is it like, I mean, I just. What are you going to do with the judges' chambers if he leaves?
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, which I still think is kind of ridiculous.
You're going to make it the gallows pole.
Ooh, that's bad.
It's actually really good. Gallows. Actually, gallows could work.
Gallows.
Yeah, well, with the way Yankee fans feel about this guy, but it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I think he's running away with the MVP, and I mean, we'll see if he can keep it up, for the rest of the year. But I mean, it's, he betting on himself in a contract year, and
he's not stupid.
No, and I can tell you one thing: the best thing I ever did was grab him in the 5th round of my fantasy draft because nobody wanted him, and I'm like, "Are you people freaking crazy?" So I just grabbed him. Anal Hershiser right now is running away with the league.
The year Mike got judge in our league, I think you picked him in the last round, right?
I did. He was just
was he a rookie?
He was a rookie. He was he just made the team breaking camp.
Yeah, and Chris, we keep 5 guys each year for our team.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So once you
so I'm assuming you still have them.
I do. I do.
Hey, Boston and Toronto. Any worries about them catching you guys? Are you guys playing for home field and stay healthy?
I think it's playing for home field at this point, and I'm not that. I mean, look, the AL East is the best division in the league, in my eyes, right now, as of today. There's some star power on Toronto, but their pitching has just kind of been suspect. And
Kikuchi's been that was a good move for them.
Yeah.
The Twins
Barrios.
Get rid of Barrios. That was a bad move by the Twins.
Yeah.
Holy cats.
Oh God. But I mean, Boston's been playing well. I mean, I just had a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine's a huge Boston fan. He sent me a message a couple days ago and said, "How the hell did we go 13-5 and somehow lose ground to the Yankees?" So I mean, it's just that kind of year, man. I mean, like Mike alluded to earlier. I mean, like this team doesn't want to lose. They do have that grit. They do have that, that determination. And I don't know. I mean, I see him taking the East handily this year, unless barring catastrophe. But what the hell do I know?
It would be like even if they played 500 ball for the rest of the year, they're still in a good position to win the East.
Yeah, and you're going to get into the playoffs no matter what.
At the end of June, when you're up 11, you should have a pretty steady. You should have a pretty good handle on the division. Toronto doesn't. Toronto worries me more than Boston because even though Sale's coming back, but who knows?
Is he? No, I mean,
their pitching staff is not great, and they've got 2 big contract issues floating around out there.
Yep.
And if they take a swing at those, if they take a swing or take the temperature of Bogarts and Devers in mid-July or on the All-Star break, and it doesn't look like they can make any ground, I wouldn't be shocked in the least, especially Bogarts, if Bogarts got traded.
I think Bogarts would be the guy to get moved before Devers for sure.
And then
I think you can get Bogarts a little cheaper. And hey, look,
I agree with that. Yeah, Devers is younger, and Devers is a better player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like Bogarts, I really do. But I mean, look, this Red Sox regime has kind of shown you that they're not afraid to trade a name. They're not afraid.
Mookie Betts, then anybody's fair game.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Same team that sold Babe Ruth for no net. So what the hell are you going to do?
They're not even close.
Nothing's changed.
They're not even close for Bogarts, and they got Trevor Story and put right back in the shortstop if they let him go. Who else in the A? Is there anybody in the AL other than maybe Houston that can even push the Yankees? I don't see it.
It is Houston. It's definitely Houston. Minnesota can do all they want in the Central, but they're Minnesota.
Yeah, but Minnesota sees the Yankees in October and they turtle.
They see anybody in October and they lose. I mean, that's that's just what they do.
I mean, the only team that could, who would probably the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball this year,
Chicago.
Exactly. And
you guys reading my notes?
I said yesterday, like if it was me yesterday would have been regardless of the outcome, Tony La Russa's last game would have been yesterday.
You got a good young team up and coming with a lot
They got
of
no fire
stars, and they bring in 100,
which is weird.
Manager.
They've got no fire.
No.
They play with the exact same amount of energy as Tony La Russa has. I mean, they've had some injuries. Granted, they've had some injuries, but everybody has.
Their pitching staff kind of got decimated by injuries, that's for sure. But I mean, but the team, I mean, Luis Robert, I mean, like these guys going down doesn't help. But Tim Anderson was just out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, but Moncada goes down and Berger steps in, and he's like, who cares about Moncada?
I hear you. I mean, they have all the talent. They have all the talent in the world. And I mean, I don't know if I want to blame La Russa, but I mean, maybe at some point, look, the manager's always the first one to go. You can't fire the players.
You walk a guy with 2 strikes on him intentionally, and the next guy hitting a buck, 53, hits a 3-run homer.
I know.
And the most amazing part about that act of just sheer stupidity was that La Russa in the post-game presser was shocked that people were asking him about it.
You know what he reminds me of? It's like me with my kids. Right, where they hear the message the first couple of times, and then and then they're like, yeah, old man, okay, gotcha. Like, okay, we're gonna listen, but we're not. We're gonna look at them like we're listening, but we're just gonna do what we want to do.
Contact,
yeah, like it's like Grandpa telling you the same story 100 times, and then you find out it was a lie.
But I still love the story.
I was on the Mayflower. Grandpa, you were born in 1923. You weren't on the Mayflower.
It reminds me of that old manager that thought he knew more about the game and started hitting his pitcher 8th and somebody else 9th. Oh, that was Tony La Russa. Sorry.
Oh, wait, yeah, that was La Russa, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but it worked. I mean, look. I mean, you can't discount his body of work. I mean, you really can't.
No.
I mean, you're an A's fan. How
I know that, but the game has passed him by.
Well, so maybe him,
But look at Dusty Baker.
I was just going to say that.
Come on.
I was just going to say that.
But Dusty Baker was the right guy for a veteran team that was getting through a scandal. This is a young team up and coming with a lot of young kids.
The Astros are a pretty friggin' young team too. That's the thing.
They are.
A lot of their guys.
Player.
Maybe Brantley possibly is the
oldest. Well, Gurriel's 131, but his birth certificate says 28.
Yeah, so that just means 28.
Exactly.
But I mean,
any sleep. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh no! I was just gonna say. Look, I'm all for giving these guys a shot. I mean, I'd rather see these guys get jobs. And I mean, I think he does a great job with what he has in Houston. And I recorded a show a couple days ago with this guy Mike Acosta, and he was, for 20-something years, he was the official team historian and authenticator for the Astros. I mean, he had his crazy office in Minute Maid Park and whatever. And I mean, this guy knows everything there is to know about the Astros. I mean, he started explaining AstroTurf to me, and he pulls out a piece of cross section of friggin' AstroTurf. But I mean, like, and even he said when the Houston Astros bought all of their affiliate teams, so they own, Corpus Christi Hooks. Right. They own those teams. So their player development system is all the way down, like from ground up. It's just that system. And that's why they're able to plug in a guy like Jeremy Pena. Like these guys just come up and they fit that system. So you have a calming influence in Dusty Baker, a guy who knows the game. And then you bring in that scouting and that, they're a tough team, man. They're always going to be a tough team. And
they're developing players. They're starting to remind me a little bit of the Cardinals.
Yeah,
guys come through the system and they know the Cardinal way from the day that they arrive in a Cardinal uniform, and they know the Cardinal way, and then they come up and they have success, and they seem to bring guys up at the right time, and they bring players, but they play Cardinal baseball. They don't play, Louisville Redbirds baseball owned by, Joe from, Joe's Pizza.
Exactly. Yeah, well, the guy who owns, 4 Ford dealerships around the Louisville metro area. Yeah.
So
the Astros, many of the Astros homegrown players played here in my area, over in Troy for the Tri-City Valley Cats. They were the rookie
Valley
A team.
Cats. Yep.
They were one of the teams, though, that got disbanded last year. Now they're a Frontier League independent, which Pete Incaviglia, by the way, is manager. But it kind of
Pete
sucks.
Incaviglia.
Did you do as a manager there?
Yeah, he is.
Dude, Pete Incaviglia. I mean, Bobby Valentine told me once that Pete Incaviglia was the best college player he had ever seen in his entire life.
Oh, he was a great
legend, absolute legend.
He was Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, I mean, he hits it like he just hit the shit out of everything.
I just wonder if he sits on the bench.
It's hot. The sun is now doing this. I'm sorry.
I wonder if he sits on the bench with a Igloo 6-pack cooler, and
he might.
I should be doing that right now.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I actually have an Igloo 6-pack cooler right there, but nothing in it. So that's very.
Does it have BallNine? Is it BallNine authenticated? Is it on the merch page?
I mean, do I need to authenticate it? I mean, I bought the damn thing. So.
You could throw it in, buy 6 shirts, get a free Igloo cooler, summer special.
We were thinking, dude. We were thinking about making beer. We found a company that will make beer and package it and we would just sell 6 packs of BallNine beer. I don't know, Ball 6. I don't know.
Iron Maiden's been doing it for years.
Well, yeah. Well, Steve Harris.
And it's priced off the charts.
Well, exactly. Well, Steve Harris has to, he's gonna feed his beer habit. So it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey, National League, any team that you would let's project ahead. You get to the World Series. Who would you love to see? Who would you not like to see? And you can't say the Reds that you want to see them. Is there would beating the Mets or Dodgers have a little extra satisfaction, or what team would you rather?
The Mets.
I'd love to see the Mets too. Yeah, I mean, just from New York aspect,
All right.
I mean, the Dodgers would be great just for nostalgia. I don't know. I mean, I think those teams would match up really well. But I would love to see another Subway Series. I'm sure Mike would too. I mean,
I don't want anything to do with the Braves. Nothing.
No, they get hot and weird shit happens.
Nothing. Their bullpen's great.
Yep. Well, aside from Kenley Jeans.
Yeah, except for that.
As we saw last night. But
yeah, except for that. But what team has Holmes has been great, and he had a little bit of a blip in Tampa.
Yeah.
But
he gave up a run. I know.
But you on any given night, the perceived best closer in the game could give up 3 runs on 2 hits and walk 3 guys, and it just makes you realize how unbelievable Rivera was, how unbelievable Trevor Hoffman was. It's great perspective, and that's a problem for Yankee fans because they expect anybody that walks out of that bullpen to be Rivera.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like expecting Gallo to be Mantle. It's just not going to happen. I'm just
Gallo to be not going to happen.
Gallo could be Brett Gardner. You guys be thrilled.
Oh, for Christ's sakes!
He's just let him retire in peace and go open a friggin' barbecue joint somewhere upstate New York in Armonk or wherever the hell he lives.
Exactly. Yep. Go out and hang around Cooperstown and.
Just relax. Yeah, I mean, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. I'm shocked that I'm shocked that they didn't. I think that's why everybody's trying to stay healthy in the outfield this year because this way they don't have to. They don't need him in there.
He's around.
I know he's around, and he's probably in great shape, and he probably would.
Well, he'll be in great shape for his whole life, probably.
Yeah, and he would probably do like one of those Girardi types, like those guys that are just constantly look like they're in playing shape.
Yeah,
but Look, I love Brett. I had no problem with Brett Gardner. I think he was an excellent Yankee. He did his job. He always came to work. He never got hurt. He might have lost. A few steps, and he never really had an arm. But I mean, he was just. He was Brett Gardner. I mean, he's like, how could you hate Brett Gardner? I kind of got a little tired of him sticking around too long.
Look, I mean, he would if there wasn't, if in another, thank social media for this. If he would have just been a Yankee for as long as he'd been a Yankee, and he would have been one of the best 4th outfielders in the history of the Yankee organization.
Yeah.
Right. So not as key a player as Roy White, but a Roy White like player, a great Yankee, not a good Yankee.
Yeah, like a Paul Blair.
Yes,
a fourth outfielder. Yeah,
but a great Yankee, but not so great that you could never replace him.
Yeah.
So Hicks struggles. Why isn't Gardner starting in center? Gardner goes 0 for 8. I can't believe Gardner's our center fielder. I mean,
he couldn't win. He just couldn't win.
No, he couldn't.
Gallo just missed a home run by like a foot.
Imagine that.
Was it a swing and a miss?
Wait, he missed the ball by a foot? Or maybe
10 by a foot. 10 feet, just missed the foul pole.
Warning track power. That's even worse.
I thought you were saying he missed a pitch by a foot.
He hit the ball.
That would surprise me less that he actually made contact.
But he hit the baseball. What more do you people want?
Huzzah for us.
Well, what was the exit velocity and what was the launch angle? Those are important. Because was it a hard hit out?
I hate that garbage. There's a reason why Keith Law blocked me on Twitter. I hate that stuff.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. I hate that stuff.
It's just annoying. I mean,
it's fun. It's fun.
Batting average.
Right?
How many runs did he drive in?
But the last thing so this is where I think, so I have come around a little bit on that stuff, right? So when a guy is struggling and his hard hit rate is like in the top third of the league and his average exit velocity on outs is like 98, which is in the top 5% of the league, like you can believe at some point in time those hits are going to fall.
Yeah.
Right. Like at some point in time, like a guy's scuffling and those hits are going to fall. But it's when the guy that's hitting 190, who would be sixth in the National League in batting at 190, hits a ball, hits a 317-foot laser line drive home run. And all everybody wants to talk about is the exit velocity at 113 miles an hour. And his team's down 9-1, and he's left 8 runners on base earlier in the game. It's like, it's cool to talk about it because that's the highlight that people want to see, right? They talk about it all the time, but it's overused at this point. It's just an overused, it's watered down where, you don't have to tell me when Stanton hits a ball if it's 100 miles an hour now. Look at the fielders. If they're
you just know. Yeah, you just know.
When it hits the bat, if the third baseman goes like this, he smoked it.
Yeah. Like it knocks him backwards. But I mean, you know what? It's an out.
It's an out.
It's still an out.
It's
that's what kills me. It's like, oh my God,
that was 110 miles an hour. Yeah, we had second and third with 1 out, and he had 110 mile an hour line drive to short.
Yeah,
so now it's second and third with 2 out.
No, and then they step on second because he hit it so hard. It's a double play, and the inning's over.
Yeah,
right. Of course, you want to hit the ball hard. Of course, I mean that's the name of the game. Unless you're bunting, but I mean, come on.
Breaking news: Joey Gallo hit the ball for the second time during that at bat. It was a pop out with an exit velocity of 12, but
the launch angle was 73%.
Launch angle was -7. Oh my goodness.
What else going on in baseball has caught your guys' eye? What are you guys doing at BallNine? What you hit the homepage? What are you going to see?
Hey, you're going to love this one. Moneyball at 20 is Kevin Kernan's new one. And we're not talking about the book. We're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the book when Michael Lewis entrenched himself with Billy Beane and all your favorites, and how they pretty much screwed baseball up for the future.
Yeah, they did.
Because apparently a lot of scouts, apparently there's a running joke within baseball where a lot of scouts like to say, oh, well, how about that Moneyball and all the beautiful rings that I got? Oh, wait, no, it didn't work. So, if you go to BallNine right now, you're going to see that. And that's the big one for right now. It's great. I mean, people loved it. I mean, we got a lot of retired players, and a lot of baseball people love that one. And sorry, it's at the expense of your A, Sean, but what are you gonna do?
Part one of Rocco with El Tiante was really, really good. Part 2,
Louis Tiant, and then that one's great. Part 2 is going to be great because he just lets loose. He lets loose on the current state of baseball, and when he starts going,
he lets loose more than he did in part 1, which he kind of
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, no, that's nothing. No. He's tearing people new things, and so we got that. We got I don't even know what's on there anymore. I don't read.
I tell you, I thought
well, the merch shop. You got to go to the merch shop.
Wednesday, we're gonna have Mike Nelson's new Blowed Up, which I'm excited. So
I saw pictures of Tion. He looks pretty good for a guy that's had a couple of cigars from time to time in his life.
He looks great. 81 years old. He looks fantastic.
81 years old. He'd probably still throw a 3-hitter.
You know what? Against these guys? Yeah. Absolutely.
I could throw a 3-hitter against the A's.
That's who Cortez reminds everybody of. Is because he's got all the hesitation and all the funky arm angle stuff,
and Cortez is of Cuban descent, as was obviously El Duque, and Louis loves both of those guys. A because they're Cuban, but B because they just have that little bit of they pitch, they don't throw, and that's the complete. They're not driveline guys. Yeah. And
I'm sure that's what he rips on about pitchers today, is they don't pitch to get out.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna love it.
That'll be good. I look forward to it.
Maddox would be a 5th starter on somebody's rotation right now.
That's alarming. That's one of my favorite pitchers ever.
And he lived at like 89 to 92. And wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, he could have pitched a triple header. He throws 79 pitch outings. Complete.
I love Maddox. You come home on a Friday night with a 12-pack of beer, and you got an hour and 51 minutes to do your damage before the game's over.
You still have 7 beers left by the time the game's over.
Nah.
Judges up the tying.
Okay,
fine. No, he didn't.
Sorry. Okay.
No, he didn't. You pick up your pace, man. He's really dealing. I better have 2 this inning.
Chris, back in college, we used to have parties when Mike Tyson fought. Mike and I don't know if you know this. Mike was the best man at my wedding.
I did. You told me this. I think the first time.
When Mike Tyson fights, we used to everybody go out and get a case of beer and then drink as many as you can till the fight ended and see where you were.
Because it's great when they lasted 1 round.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you had to drink. That's why you were doing like a beer a punch, so you could get at least 3 in before the round ended.
You know what? You need the beer helmet with the 2 straws and just start going, and somebody behind you to reload.
That's another merch. That's another merch item.
Oh, I want to make a beer helmet. Absolutely.
Turn back the clock week. It's the throwback. You can and a disco ball in commemoration of disco night.
Disco demolition night and 10-cent beer night. Yeah, two of the worst nights in the history of baseball. I think we should do something about that because that's us. That's so us.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like we were talking about the MVP earlier, and Judge does seem like a lock, but like my eye keeps going out to Anaheim, and that freak, that guy. He's a half decent player. He's been with the Angels for a little while. Trout, I think his name is. He's having another year.
They're going to finish 4th. Has there been a greater disservice in any of our lifetimes with an organization that has just completely lost Mike Trout's prime? Everything they've tried.
Now they're losing Trout and Ohtani's prime. Ohtani's their best pitcher.
I know, which is sad. Hold on, my food just got here. Can you give me 2 seconds to let this guy in? I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll leave this here so you don't hear me. Not tipping the guy.
Tip the guy well. Come on. They rely on tips.
These people rely on tips.
They rely on. I just watched Midnight Run like 2 weeks ago.
It was on Friday night.
It's on like one of those movies. I get 800 movie channels.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was on Showtime or something, and I was just, I don't know what part of the movie it was on. I couldn't stop.
That's 15%. What do you mean 15%? They rely on tips. You haven't seen Midnight Run, folks. Watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in commercial. I don't know if we have a pitching change going on there, but
another pitching change of the many, many pitching changes that are going on.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do.
Well, it's not just them.
No, that's another part.
I mean, the 3-batter minimum hasn't done a damn thing to stop that. It really has.
I know.
In fact, in some ways, it's slowed the game down because if they know that, so depending on how strategic they are with the
Here it comes, by the way. Here it
when they're
comes.
bringing the reliever in, there's the peanut gallery has appeared.
Hi. Can you go to bed?
I need you.
I'll be up in a couple minutes, okay? After I get done, can you say hi?
Hey, bud.
I'll be up in just a couple minutes, pal.
Can I be right here?
Go ahead and lay down. Whatever it takes.
What exactly? I've been there. Yeah, but so I know I'm going to pitch this guy for 3 batters, and I'm going to have somebody warmed up and ready to go, but maybe I'm not, and maybe he doesn't have it. So then you got a catcher half visit. You got the signs being slowed down. You get the pitching coach trotting out there after the second batter. I think it's actually slowed the game down to the point where, like, I know I'm going to bring this guy in for 1 batter, and then I'm going to make a change, and then you make the change. And then that guy, then maybe that guy's giving you 5 because I got 5 righties in a row coming up. But now you got this lefty that can't get righties out, and he's scuffling, and they're changing signs, and the catcher's walking out in position in the defense, and just to give him time to catch his breath so the reliever can get warmed up. And it's of the many, many stupid things that have been implemented, that might be that's at the top of the list of stupid things that they thought were going to speed the game up.
Is it any worse than a Manfred man at second base in extra innings? I mean,
nothing's worse than that.
That's got to be.
No.
I love what Curtin calls him. He calls him Mr. Snuffleupagus because he's Rob Manfred's imaginary friend.
Yeah, his only one. That's why he has to be an imaginary friend.
Exactly.
Hey, look, guys. Oh, real quick before I let you go, Chris, I want to let you go get your dinner. Hey, Noah, who's going to win, the A's or the Yankees? The A's, yes.
Noah, go to bed.
He just switched.
He switched.
He switched.
Did he get the Islander jersey I sent to him?
He roots against every team I pick. As soon as I tell him I'm happy with that, no, it's going to be the Yankees. That's why he's outside a lot on Sundays in the snow when it's dark out when the Raiders are on. Hey, boys.
Oh, my
thanks
God.
again.
What's happening over there?
That ain't me.
It's just Cassius. We were talking about Tyson, and he wants to make sure everybody knows that Ali was the GOAT.
He's the king. He was the king.
He's like one of those. It doesn't matter what you're saying about me as long as you're talking about me. It's all good. It's like Vince Lombardi. I don't care what you write about me as long as you write about me. All publicity.
AJ Puck against Giancarlo Stanton with the bases loaded as we speak.
Oh, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well,
all right, listen, guys. I'll let you guys go.
All right. Well,
you're welcome for the sound effects.
Hey, no worries, man. It's all good. Have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thanks,
Sean.
Sean.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, brother.
All right, guys.
Bye, Chris.
All right. Well, we need AJ Puck to get out of this jam. Anyway, great interview with Chris and Mike. I appreciate them coming in. Let's go to my world real quick. Congrats to the Colorado Avalanche. I picked them to win the cup in the preseason, start of the playoffs. I'm happy they did it. Their first cup since 2001. They were the best team all year. They survived, to me, the Darcy Kemper matchup against Andrei Vasilevsky, but that just tells you how good the Avs were. And Kemper played great last night. Again, it absolutely drives me insane. But hey, what can you do? Anyhow, back in my world, the Bruins, Patrice Bergeron. Word is he's coming back. Thank you, St. Patrice. I'm not done watching you play. I'm not done rooting you on. Just a couple days later, they announced Don Sweeney, the GM, gets extended today. That sucks. He sucks. Just killing it. Absolutely killing my excitement. Anyhow, the big news for the A's, other than they are absolutely clinging to this lead in the Bronx right now, is the vote Thursday, June 30, whether or not to keep the Howard Terminal port restricted. I don't know the exact verbiage of it, but restricted to just port use only. If the vote gets overturned, that will really pave the way for the A's to get that stadium down there. I want that. If you watched any of this show over the last few months, you know how I feel about it. I'm passionate about it. The Oakland Coliseum. I had so many great memories there growing up as a kid in the 70s at Raider games and A's games and whatnot. And look, it's a dump, but it's our dump, and I'll miss it. But I don't want the team to leave Oakland, and I'm praying this vote goes through on Thursday, because guess what? Major League Baseball set the tone today when Rob Manfred said that the A's would get relaxed relocation fees if they were to move to Vegas. That to me it's putting some pressure on the city of Oakland and the people who make those decisions. Do you want the team or not? And there you have it. So let's hope for a good outcome there. Let's keep the A's in Oakland forever. So thanks again. Long show tonight. Again, great job by Chris and Mike. I really enjoyed having them. You can see him in the background. My son Noah, one of the twins, didn't really want to go to bed tonight. So he'll make his Pugsley's Pit debut in the background as he watches the A's and the Yankees, and before he goes to bed about 3 seconds after the show ends. So on that note, folks, thank you once again for joining us next week here at Pugsley's Pit. Have a wonderful week. Happy summer. Got through a couple 90-degree days here in Albany. A little better today once the rain stopped, but we got a great week. And hey, man, it's all good. So take care, everyone, and see you all soon.